Welcome back to the show. I've been bursting to tell you what just landed on our desk, because it has sent the Turkish celebrity sphere spinning, and I know you've been craving clarity. Take a breath and settle in, because nothing about this is ordinary. Yes, the headline you saw is as real as it sounds. Today, we're diving into Barış and Elçin, and the surprise that has turned whispers into a roar. If you followed this pair over the years, or even casually kept an eye on Turkish entertainment, you know exactly how magnetic their names are. Their lives, their careers, their interactions, everything about them ends up in the spotlight. And today, that spotlight has caught a flash of something absolutely unexpected. Stick with me to the very end, because we're unpacking every angle, what happened, why it matters, and how people are reacting. Before we jump straight into it, if you haven't joined our community here at Turkish Spotlight Secrets, this is the perfect moment. Hit subscribe, tap the bell, and make sure you don't miss the next chapter of this evolving story. Your support is the reason we can keep bringing you the most intriguing developments in entertainment. Alright, here's the jolt that froze everyone in place on November 23, 2025. Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu are back in the center of attention, and it isn't due to a new set, a revived series, or a red carpet surprise. This is something much more intimate, something that caught even seasoned watchers off guard and unleashed a surge of speculation online. The rumor on everyone's lips suggests a reunion, but not the formal, posed for cameras kind. The suggestion circulating, and gathering momentum with every hour, is that Barış and Elçin might be giving love another try. You heard me right. After a period when their paths appeared to run parallel but separate, the stars whose chemistry lit up Karalık Aşk may be exploring whether what they felt once can exist again, now that both have lived more, learned more, and changed in ways only time can shape. If you're newer to the story, let me paint the picture. Barış Arduç, with his calm charisma and deliberate charm, rose from leading man to cultural reference, building a career that crosses borders and attracts audiences well beyond Turkey. Elçin Sangu, with that luminous presence and wickedly sharp wit, has carved out her place as one of the most beloved talents of her generation. Together on Karalık Aşk, they created a kind of spark that didn't just play for the camera, it lived in the pauses, in the way their scenes felt like a secret. Naturally, fans wondered how much of that was performance and how much was something else. Those questions didn't exist in a vacuum, because there was a time when the whispers were not just fantasy. There was a chapter when they were indeed together, even if it wasn't built to last then. So, what pushed all of this back into the open? Reports have trickled in over recent weeks, each one adding a new layer. We're not talking about casual encounters at crowded functions. The accounts point to quiet, deliberate meetings away from the frenzy, simple dinners for two, walks where the only witness was the night air, and subtle social media breadcrumbs that fans have followed with forensic focus. A like here, an old photo resurfacing there, a comment that feels more tender than neutral. Each small gesture has been weighed by people who know their rhythm and recognize the difference between polite and personal. The reaction has been immediate and intense. One side of the fandom is over the moon, recalling how authentic their connection felt when they worked together, and believing that sometimes timing is everything. They say that if two people who once understood each other find themselves missing that comfort, maybe a second chapter is exactly what was always going to happen. They speak from a place of hope, from memories they carry of scenes that pulsed with warmth and looks that said more than the script. They see maturity, growth, and a chance to choose gently this time. Others, though, are treading carefully. They remember how a beautiful story can get crowded by pressure. They point to the weight of expectation, the squeeze of schedules, the constant scrutiny, the strain of trying to build something real in a place where every breath becomes a headline. They wonder if the reasons things unraveled before can be rewritten or if they have only been sleeping under the surface. They ask if two careers traveling at full speed in different directions can make a shared space that feels safe, private, and true. Either way, the frenzy is undeniable. Timelines are brimming with threads, theories, and side-by-side comparisons of expressions from interviews. Any blurry photo at a distance is sharpened and zoomed by 100 different hands. A turn of phrase in a Q&A gets parsed like a poem. Hashtags jump to the top of the trend lists, and overnight, Barış and Elçin become less like people and more like symbols of a possibility that many didn't dare imagine again. The conversation is global, fans swapping notes from different countries, clips subtitled 10 different ways, and a sense that the world grew a little smaller the moment the rumor took flight. As of this moment, neither Barış Arduç nor Elçin Sangu has made any official statement about their current status. That silence is familiar to anyone who's watched this world long enough. Sometimes the most honest moments are the ones that stay unannounced. Sometimes the real is held close, not because it isn't proud, but because it's fragile and new, and it deserves a chance to breathe where the air is calm. So what exists now is that hazy zone of strong clues and almost admissions, built by sightings, whispers from people who claim to be nearby, and an undeniable shift in tone that even cautious observers have acknowledged. Why does this strike so deep? Several reasons. The first is simple: they are beloved beyond borders. When figures like these take a step toward or away from each other, the world leans in. The second is the narrative itself. What they shared before carried the glow of a story we've all either lived or wanted to, something tender, interrupted, unfinished. The idea that time might have stitched wounds and softened edges is persuasive. The third reason is the nostalgia of Karalik Ask. That series didn't just entertain, it made people feel seen in their messiest, sweetest moments. The thought of its leads rediscovering each other in real life taps right into those memories and pulls them back into the present. There's also the interesting contrast between the spectacle of celebrity and the whisper of how this seems to be unfolding. Nothing about this feels staged. If anything, it reads like two people choosing dim corners, slow days, and small gestures. That restraint gives it an authenticity that today's audience craves, a reminder that not everything is built for PR or choreographed to match a release date. Add to that the fact that both have traveled through new roles and challenges since the last time they were linked. They've gathered experiences, earned scars, and tested who they are without the other. The essential question is whether everything they've learned leads them back to each other with more patience and less noise. People who care about them are asking the practical things, too. Can they hold a space where the gaze of the world doesn't intrude? Can they keep priorities balanced when scripts demand long nights and months away? Can fondness survive the machinery of fame? The answers will arrive in their time, in how they move, what they say, or don't, and where they choose to be seen next. My take? There's something brave about allowing a connection to return after it has been tested by distance and life. Most of us know that the second version of a story isn't a repeat. It's a rewrite built on all the pages that came before, including the torn ones. In an industry that can turn real feelings into currency, having someone beside you who understands the breaks between scenes and the silence after applause is priceless. If Barış and Elçin have found that again, even in the smallest measure, I hope it gets the care and privacy it needs to grow. We'll keep following this, of course. But before we close, here's a swift recap. The spark that set everything alight on November 23, 2025 revolves around Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu. Evidence has piled up suggesting that they are reconnecting in a way that goes beyond old colleagues or friendly catch-ups. Quiet dinners, private walks, and notable interactions online have fueled the idea of a rekindled romance. Fans are split between elation and caution, with the debate touching on their past, their present demands, and what it would take to make a second attempt thrive. No formal confirmation exists yet, but anticipation has rarely been this palpable. Thank you for staying with me through every turn of this unfolding tale. Your presence here at Turkish Spotlight Secrets is what makes these conversations worth having. I want to hear you now. What do you think about this possible reconciliation? Do you believe in second chances when the first try was beautiful but imperfect? Do you think timing and experience can change everything? Let me know down in the comments. I read them, I think about them, and I love seeing how you read between the lines in ways I never expect. If you found this as riveting as I did, give the video a like, it truly helps us keep going. Share it with anyone who cherishes Barış and Elçin, or who keeps a pulse on the dramas and delights of the Turkish entertainment world. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Turkish Spotlight Secrets and turn on notifications so you're first to know when the next update drops. We're committed to bringing you the freshest stories and the most thoughtful takes, without the noise, and with all the heart. Until the next chapter, take care, keep your eyes open for the quiet clues, and remember that sometimes the softest signals mean the most. Whether this becomes a grand return or a tender interlude, what matters is that it's theirs to shape. And we'll be right here, ready to walk with you through whatever comes next for Barış and Elçin, step by careful step, as the story writes itself in real time.